Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Casual Dracula. Hey guys, Actual Dracula here. Welcome to Casual Dracula. And this is the Batman episode. That is right. I'm going to be talking about the Batman, of course, the movie. So if you haven't seen it, there might be some spoilers, but in general, I'm kind of just giving my review of it. Also, I left the link in the chat. If anyone wants to hop on, feel free. Absolutely. I didn't really, plan it out. I was supposed to do the show last week. Something came up. I wasn't able to do it. So figured I got some free time now. Why not just do it? Because I did want to talk about this movie because I really did enjoy it. So before that, I'll just say hi to the chat. We've got White Tiger. What's going on? Cowabunga. Flo Dameron. What's going on? And guys, if you haven't, actually, I'll mention that after. Uncanny Dan, what is up? Austin LeMay. What's going on? Thanks for joining us, guys. Bleecker Street. Hello, Michael Baker. Yes, thank you, Michael. Yeah, that's I do enjoy the intro. But yeah, guys, White Tiger did like three videos talking about this movie. So, Ruby, if you want to hop on, absolutely. I think I sent you the link, and the link's in the chat. With Flo as well, I think he had a video talking about with Flo, and it's kind of in agreement with what they were both saying about the movie. What's going on, Paul Rogers? Thank you very much. Yeah, so I'll just say that this movie, I don't a lot of movies I don't really go opening weekend, and but this one I really couldn't wait, and so I ended up seeing it twice on opening weekend, because it was just I thought it was so good. I'll say, like, right off the bat, that is the first like half hour of this movie is probably one of my favorite just straight up comic book movies ever. And I'm not saying the whole movie. Like, I'll just say right now, this is not my favorite Batman movie, but that first half hour is like, that first half hour might be my favorite Batman movie, because the way that movie opens is incredible. I mean, the opening scene, just with the Riddler, I thought that was a really great way to start the movie and to give us kind of to set the tone. Obviously, very dark. Um, a lot of people have been drawing comparisons with David Fincher movies like Seven and Zodiac, and you definitely get that right there with that opening scene. Um, it did remind me a lot of those movies, and uh, such a stark contrast to uh, the Riddler that we saw previously in Batman Forever, of course, portrayed by Jim Carrey. It was kind of it would have been a very different movie if they had brought him back for the role, which I was kind of hoping they would for this one. Um, Maybe next time, right? Uh, let's. You know what would be great is to redo this movie shot for shot, but with Jim Carrey uh, as the Riddler instead of Paul Dano. I would like to see that. And I really liked Paul Dano. I liked what he did with the character. But if we could just, if someone out there has Matt Reeves' contact info, if you can get in touch with him or let me give it to me and I'll get in touch with him and pitch him my idea for look, the Batman was great, but can we remake this movie with Jim Carrey or James Carrey, if you prefer, as the Riddler? Just replace his scenes. Just shoot Jim Carrey green screen and insert him doing his thing, and and put that. That's just a thought. Is that a Mike Mignola behind you? Yes, this is Batman. 454. Dark Knight, Dark City. Mike Mignola, awesome Mike Mignola cover with the Riddler. I love Mike Mignola Batman. Um, yeah, I love Mike Mignola. Period. But this is a pretty cool cover. I just picked this up like a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that'd be great if you can uh let Matt Reeves know my idea. I think I'm onto something here. And I have other ideas as well, which I may get to. But you know what? And I'll circle back to that perhaps later. Getting back to this movie and the way it is already, like I said, the opening of this movie, just like the first, I'd say easily first half hour, even first hour of this movie is so good. But the opening monologue, Batman's opening monologue, is uh was absolutely perfect. I thought it was one of the best. Sorry, I'm just a little distracted here. I was trying to fix something on my video. If you give me 1 second, I was looking. Changed my focus. What there? Anyways, um, Batman's opening monologue is probably one of my favorite pieces of just like Batman writing, definitely in any of the movies. It really was kind of this Batman's ideas of who is this guy? It's his second year as Batman. It's a perfect kind of. It really sums up. It distills the idea of what Batman is. The whole, he is the shadows thing, and I just thought that was an excellent piece of writing. And that whole sequence really what really made that whole sequence for me, aside from the writing, was the music. The the I forget the composer's name, Michael Jack Jackum something somebody out there will know. That music was that particular piece of music in the opening sequence is probably my favorite music I've uh, I've heard in any Batman movie. Um, and I've just been listening to that on Apple Music, just that one particular piece. It's so good. It's so perfect for that scene. Um, Now another obviously really great opening scene is of course the Dark Knight, um, the bank robbery. Is this I would put this. I can't even say one is better than the other. I would just like put it on par with that. That's how good this was for me. Um, yeah, so I'm also right now trying to remember sequence of events. It's even though it hasn't been that long. Um, yeah, it was that first really. That's why as soon as I saw the movie, I wanted to go see it the next day, particularly just to see the beginning of that film. I do feel that it is a bit long, um, particularly towards the end. It does drag on quite a bit. The last stark contrast to the opening 30 minutes of the film, which I could have done with a whole lot more of that kind of vibe. The final 30 minutes of the film was kind of a bit of a slog, I guess. There was just it just wasn't, it didn't hold my interest as much, I suppose. Um, the whole scene in the arena with the um, I guess the Riddler. I don't know what you would call them. The guys in the stadium, who somehow with I don't know who brought it up the other day, but you have that many people with rifles shooting at the new mayor, or who's about to be a new mayor, and they didn't kill her. I mean, I don't know. Uh, Anyhow, Station Travis, yeah, thanks for joining me. Um, so that would be really one of my only, I guess, gripes with the film, and it's really not much. Is that it felt a bit long, really towards the end. It just wasn't as strong a film at that point for me. Uh, I'm just gonna go all over the place. I'm not going in order. I just immediately thought I started with the beginning, now I'm gone to the end. I just gonna mention things as I think of them, which is that I guess kind of get the stuff I didn't like out of the way. Which the only other thing I really didn't like was the very final scene with the motorcycles. I could have done without that. It felt like a bit much. Definitely not my favorite ending. I'll say that. Um, Now, as to back to what I really did like, um, stand out for me, and I think for a lot of people, was Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Phenomenal performance. Really, um, uh, not just from him, but just even the script, the uh, Penguin's whole role in this movie was kind of perfect. Um, yeah, that okay. So uh, maybe I'll get back to the Penguin, but the rumble of the new Batmobile was amazing. Yeah, when that thing starts up, so good, so good. I really love the new Batmobile. if I had to rank Batmobiles, it's up there. It is definitely up there. I'd still say my favorite is 89 Batmobile. Um, and then I'd probably put the second. I would probably say it's like my second favorite. I do like the Tumbler a lot. Um, but yeah, 89 Batmobile. Oh, and uh animated series Batmobile. That's a good one. So, but yeah, the Batmobile was again like perfect for this early Batman. Um, you know, you could see in the Batcave he's working on. It looked like part of it was a garage essentially. So I felt it like much like his costume, which I guess I'll mention now, but much like his costume, like it had that very kind of handmade look to it in terms of like this was not, it's not like the slick look of something like say in Batman and Robin, okay, which I did want to talk about, because as much as I like this, I think it is time, guys, that we restore the Clooney verse. And throughout this show, I will check in with the chat and see how you guys are feeling about that. Are you on board with me? If you are, please, can I get in the chat a hashtag restore the Clooneyverse? Let's get George Clooney back on board, guys. Let's get him suited up back in the cape and cowl. This is what the people want. We want our George Clooney as our Batman. You know, think of the possibilities. Now, I am not gonna say, you know, uh, Chris O'Donnell, he's a little long in the tooth. Do we want to get him back as Robin? I don't know. Perhaps as an older Robin, perhaps. You know, but he might be. I'm not suggesting that yet. But George C. as Batman. You know, there's so many things you could do with that. Um, you could bring in his buddy Brad Pitt as say the Riddler or Two Face. You know, and then have like uh yeah, I mean, what's not to like? It's anatomically correct. Um you got to have the nipples, I think. It doesn't really work without them, you know? I'm not. Look, I'm just suggesting. I don't see anyone yet putting hashtag restore the Clooneyverse, but I know I'm not alone here. You know, Robert Pattinson. Yes, I did like Robert Pattinson as Batman. Okay, and you know what? I'll circle back to the Clooneyverse thing. I just wanted to mention it now, guys. Just stew on that, think it over. Think of the possibilities, and then whenever you want to throw up a hashtag restore the Clooneyverse, I'll know who's on board with me, who the OG Batman fans are. All right, so Robert Pattinson, um, I thought was great. Yes, all right, there we go. Thank you, Travis. He wants to restore the Clooneyverse. All right, so we got one person on board for Georgie C back as the Batman. Um, but for now, Robert Pattinson, I thought it was really great as Batman. Uh, the he did exactly kind of what Batman should do. You know. uh, Now, I think Ruby White Tiger mentioned this. in his videos, and he's so right, is that this really is a Batman movie with almost no Bruce Wayne in it. We get to see very little of um, Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne, particularly when you compare it to, say, the Christopher Nolan movies or even 89, where there is a fair amount of Bruce Wayne in those movies. This is just really a couple of scenes. There's the scene with Alfred, um, and just the scenes with Alfred, and there is not a whole lot there. He's, yes, kind of an emo, kind of just kind of he's so consumed with being Batman at the time, that I guess spills over into, you know his whole life. He is Batman, right? So he doesn't really have time for Bruce Wayne. Now it was this dark, brooding Bruce Wayne. So in terms of that, not a huge fan of this Bruce Wayne. What little we did get to see, mind you, it made sense because, yeah, it's an early Batman, and he's just like, that's all he can think about really is how to um you know um make a difference as Batman. uh Whereas you compare it to, say, Keaton or Christian Bale, they had this. I absolutely loved both of them as Bruce Wayne. They had this aloofness. They had kind of a twisted sense of humor, and they were both. Likewise, they were both. Bruce Wayne was almost more of a character for them as well, and that they didn't really, neither of them really cared about Wayne Enterprises or anything like that. Like they were, Batman was what was important. But we didn't have that kind of characteristic with this Bruce Wayne, which is, I guess, ultimately okay because this really was about the Batman. Um, so did Batman have glitter on? I don't think so. Um Clooney, okay, I wasn't going to talk about Clooney just yet. Um Clooney, okay, but the movie sucked. Yeah. See, now this is what I'm saying, guys, with Restore the Clooneyverse, is like, let's give the guy a genuine chance because, yeah, he had a weak script to work with. But if we suit him up once more, I think that we'll be pleasantly surprised. What's going on, Jordan Lewis? Yeah, very little Bruce. And I think it actually worked well for this movie. This movie was not really about Bruce Wayne at all. Like I said, it was really, what little was there was to show his relationship with Alfred. So that worked. Um, what was I going to get to next? We talked a bit about the Batmobile. Oh, the Bat suit, which I absolutely loved. Jordan, what storyline would he fit at his age if Clooney did come back as the Dark Knight? Yeah, I mean, obviously not year one, but at the same time, I don't know why I just said that, because one of the most interesting ideas I think we should explore, you could explore and should explore, is what if Batman started being Batman at the ripe old age of 60 or however old George Clooney is. That I'd like to see as well. Let's get a year one Batman who's middle aged or older. He's just starting out, not in his physical prime, obviously, but so to have to deal with all kinds of other problems, back problems, um, would play a significant role in that. Um, Yeah, so I don't know. I'd say, yeah, let's give that a shot. Year one, Batman Year One with George Clooney. That's my suggestion. Um, Now, this bat suit was also perfect. Um, and I'm gonna get sidetracked again with AAO. Yes, you're here for the best Batman movie talk. Yes, well, so far I think it has been. Uh, yeah, there you go. I mean, you think you could, but I think this is Batman we're talking about. Well, you know what? I guess Austin, we'll just say, cheers, buddy. Think you could take the 6-year-old Batman, huh?
Yeah, listen, man, I'm not buying that. No way. George Clooney is Alfred years now.
That's true. That's
He
true.
can't be.
But
And I will say this: I cannot support that George Clooney's Batman was bad because of the script. The production of that entire film was wrong.
you may have a point there. Yes.
But
uh,
anyway, the bat suit, incredible, right?
yeah, absolutely perfect. Like I said, it looks like he made this thing himself. You see all the stitching, and just the straight up design of it. The cowl. I really, it looks kind of odd because we don't haven't really seen this before. But having like the collar, it
Hmm.
really worked because it like works with that like um that whole handmade look too, right? So
Yeah,
it's
one
not
of the
like the molded rubber, it's like
right,
he's wearing a cape, separate cape from,
right. It
Scott.
didn't look like he had to manufacture billions of dollars worth of machines to actually produce the suit and all of his stuff. That was the best thing about this movie was everything was plausible. Anybody
Yes.
with the right amount of, I mean, it still takes some money,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it could be done.
Yep.
If I had the money and the resources, I can make that bat suit. I can make that Batmobile. I could be Batman. I might,
Absolutely.
I might in fact be Batman.
You might be Batman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I, I thought another cool touch I thought to this was because it kind of really points out like one of the biggest, I guess, most impossible things about Batman, like where you have to sort of, uh, this is whole suspension of disbelief thing is Batman's seemingly endless supply of tools and gadgets. His belt, like it's holding all these things. Where does he put all this stuff? Whereas you could see the darts for his grappling hook, like on his arm, right? He actually has this, like you can
Mhm.
see that stuff, right? So,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that was the other thing. And I think Nick's Kicks and Comics was mentioning this a while ago, which was a great point. The biggest thing was that was kind of unbelievable was when he went into the squirrel suit when he jumped off of the building. But at the same time, he acted so well in that scene, it made it believable all over again.
yeah,
He didn't land on his feet. He didn't do
yeah,
the superhero landing.
didn't stick the landing.
Oh hell no, he
Yeah,
wiped out. He got his ass kicked there, and that was great. That was they pulled you into this unbelievable moment and then reeled you right back in with something more
hmm
realistic, and I loved it. I can't say enough great things about this movie.
Oh, yeah, same here. Again, like I said, my only gripe was it felt like it dragged on a little bit towards the end. But that really was the only thing that I'd say was my criticism of it. Um, Also, that thing, what one thing that draws you in terms of that was, in terms of realism, was like, how is this guy going to genuinely, like, when you think about it, if Batman is real, how is someone like this going to genuinely intimidate people? And we got the most intimidating, straight up intimidating introductions of Batman ever, where you just hear him walking up the stairs out of the shadows
Mhm.
and then just goes right into just beating the pulp out of those dudes. I mean, it's like this guy's not playing around. Like, you can see why people would be afraid of him, which
No,
is
yeah, absolutely. And one of the scenes that was actually in the trailer
Mhm.
that I was anticipating throughout the whole movie, just waiting for it, was that scene when he comes down the hall
yeah.
and it's pitch black, and the only thing that's lighting the scene is the machine gun fire.
Yes,
And he's just
yes.
taking hits, and just beating the hell out of these guys. I loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, it definitely felt like the most real world Batman so far. Yeah, for
Yeah, and
sure.
that's what I was waiting for, right? I
Mhm.
like I like the darkness, and showing the dark emotions that go along with a city in such disarray, right? That's what you want to see. I don't want to
Yeah.
see some guy, as much as I love the Joker and like Two-Face and things like that. I'm not looking for a character with their face all painted up and running around doing their antics and whatnot.
Yes,
As fun as that is, but
it
that's
is.
not
Yeah.
what I wanted out of this movie,
Yeah.
and they delivered, man.
Absolutely. So what you're saying is you're kind of on the fence about restoring the Clooneyverse, or
Right
I'm
now,
not suggesting you make another Batman and Robin. It's just let's bring Clooney back, bring Georgie C back, bring some of his friends in, Brad P. Get kind of a whole Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12 vibe
okay,
going. Maybe they're instead of robbing a casino, they're stopping Two-Face from robbing the casino. You see
I
what I'm
will say
saying?
this in regards to the Clooneyverse, I'm a no,
Okay,
but I could be
fair enough.
dissuaded.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair
I'm
enough.
listening. I could be dissuaded for sure.
What's going on, RP? So this is a separate universe, right? No, no. The Clooneyverse is, I suppose. Um, uh, yeah. So what were we talking about before that? Before I completely derailed
We
that.
started with the bat suit.
The bat suit, yes, yeah, phenomenal. Uh, it's up there. It might be my favorite one. Might be.
In regards to looks, it was awesome. Again, it was plausible. It looked like a suit that anybody could make.
Hmm.
However, the I don't know, the blade or whatever that he pulled off,
Yeah,
he could have done so much more with that.
he could have.
I thought that
Yes.
was kind of wasted. He just like
It
took
did,
a line
yeah,
real quick and then
it
just put
was
it on.
totally wasted, yeah,
It was cool,
yeah.
but it could have been a little bit better. But
And I think I mentioned this in a chat the other day, was, that thing might have been razor sharp, but I don't know, have you tried cutting through a thick ass cable just like that?
you
Doesn't
know what?
I don't think it's
I'm
gonna be that
embarrassed
easy.
to admit that I have not.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how well that would work, but, yeah, no, that thing was totally wasted, I agree. Um, yes.
Because remember when the teasers first came out and it showed, the teaser of the bat suit. Remember that?
Yeah,
And everybody was, what was the spec on that? That it was made from the gun that killed his parents or
that's
something like
right.
that. You remember all
Yeah,
that spec?
yeah.
So I was kind of waiting for something cool to happen with it, and it just never came.
Pulls
But
out 2 guns and
yeah,
starts shooting.
or who
Yeah.
knows, man? Pull it off.
Yeah.
It fold it in half. Cock it back. Now it's a pistol or something. Who knows? But
Hey,
you know,
could have. Actually, one of my favorite Batman covers, the Detective Comics, the year 2, where he's got the holster, you know?
mhm.
You know what I'm talking about? The orange cover. Yeah, they didn't bring out the bat gun for this movie, but, that's okay.
But yeah, I mean, to your point earlier, that was another great thing that he's not. I don't want to say he's not against killing
Mhm.
in this movie. He doesn't kill, obviously, but he'll beat the hell out of you,
Yeah.
which is a little bit different than the other Batman films because he'll beat you down enough to stop you from attacking him and then wire you up or tie you up so that the cops can come take you away. This Batman just beat you to a pulp,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I loved it.
Unlike, say, Michael Keaton, who definitely killed some people in Batman Returns. I think there's probably a few people died there. Um,
You know,
But
that's the price that has to be paid to stop crime in the big city. You know,
mhm. Um,
right?
yeah, yeah, there you go. You should have thrown it. Um, but oh yeah, so yeah, no, and like the city, this so Gotham and like you said, and making uh, as fun as it is to have, all these real comic booky type characters running around, uh, the realism in this, again, helped by having Gotham as corrupt as it is, meaning like Batman exists for a reason because this place is just a hellhole. This isn't like some village in Finland. This is like the seat of corruption in America, right? So, um, Falcone, the Penguin, that whole organized crime kind of scenario. I love crime movies, I love mob movies, so that was right up my alley. Was and this felt very real
Hmm.
in terms of like how these people operate,
Yeah, and the
um
casting was phenomenal too.
yeah.
Everybody did a great job. Everybody was really believable. You know, it it was a mob movie. It really
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
and that was great. You know, and there's sick people out there, right? And
Hmm.
just dealing with those kinds of people was great. You know, I think the Riddler was an excellent villain to start with because dealing with, I mean, the dude's just a nut job, right?
Yeah.
And we've got nut jobs out there, so everything was relatable in this film, which was absolutely outstanding. I don't know if you're ready to jump onto this subject, but how did you feel about the brief semi introduction of the Joker in this universe?
uh it felt a little shoehorned in for me. um I It felt I don't want to say unnecessary. I mean, it seems like something that you just do in movies these days. It's like, okay, we've got Riddler in Arkham. Oh, who's in the cell next to him? Well, we got to tease something, right? So I understand why they did that. Though why we got this completely random Joker, uh, that we haven't seen before, I don't know. Um, I gotta say, I wasn't a huge fan of that scene. I didn't really like the dialogue. Um, yeah, I don't know. How did you feel about it?
I was actually a little bit surprised that they did
Hmm.
that. We talked about it a week ago or something like that, and it would have made an excellent cutscene
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
an end credit scene. But I don't know. I think that they've been DC has been having a hard time casting the Joker
Yeah.
as of late, right?
Yeah.
After Heath Ledger, nobody can do the Joker right again. I'm not really familiar with the actor that portrayed the Joker here, but
Oh, what's up, guy? Yeah. Thanks for stopping by.
I don't know. So I'm not familiar with him, so I don't really have any feelings one way or the other because I don't know. He could do an excellent job, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if it belonged in the movie.
That's how I felt. I'm not sure that it really belonged either. And it's like, that's the thing, is like, is this guy the next Joker, or did you just, I'm a little confused. Like, you just needed someone to say those lines, or is,
Mhm.
if you cast, have you officially cast this guy as the next Joker? I don't really know.
Yeah, I mentioned before too that if they decide not to use this guy as the Joker, they could
Mhm.
always double back and say maybe he was a henchman,
Right.
the clown army or something like that, and
Yeah.
just like he wasn't actually the Joker. We got you guys. Here's the
Yeah.
new Joker.
There's
Um,
always a workaround. Yeah.
but what I'm hoping that they do because they did such a great job with the Riddler and they completely reinvented the character. The costume design and everything was awesome. Everything
It
was
was it was so perfect, especially when you find out his whole deal and that this guy isn't alone. There's a whole community of people, and then it really makes sense why he's wearing what he's wearing. It's like this is all shit
Mhm.
you can get at a military surplus store, you know.
Yeah,
So
exactly. What I'm hoping that they do is bring in more characters and villains that could be more plausible. Like the Joker is a maniac, right? We could
mhm,
bring in the Joker, but we've seen the Joker, right?
mhm,
And I love the Joker. I'm not saying I wouldn't love to see somebody portray the Joker.
yeah.
There's a whole bunch of different villains that could be brought in, and I think they should do that.
I personally, I want to see Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker in this universe. I
Now,
mean,
had Joaquin Phoenix been in the cell
yeah,
next to him in this movie,
people
that
would have
would
lost
change
their
everything.
minds.
Are you kidding me?
Everyone would have lost their shit if that was
I
Joaquin Phoenix. Are you kidding me?
I would have been
I,
one of
yeah, yeah,
them, but they've already killed that.
yeah.
So, like I said, unless they downplay it and say, "Oh, that wasn't actually the Joker," um, yeah, that would be great. But I don't think that's the route that's going to be taken. I just hope that if and when there is a new film, Joker is not the villain.
Right. So no three Jokers. Yeah, no. I maybe doing a three Jokers eventually, but not.
Yeah, I think three
I don't
Jokers
know.
would play well down the line
Hmm.
in Batman's history, but certainly
Sure.
not the first early years of Batman.
Hope the next movie isn't all about Joker and the Batman. Yeah, definitely. And see, a realistic Mister Freeze. I'm kind of with you there, but I'm also on. I'm big on this whole restore the Clooneyverse thing. Let's bring back Arnold, okay? Uh,
Yeah, what
you
hurt
know,
Arnold there was the script, right?
exactly. Yeah. I mean, other than that, he was perfect. You know, nice to freeze you. I don't know if that's an actual
Chill
line, but
out.
should be. Yeah, chill out. Yeah. Um, yeah, man, Joaquin, that would have just freaked everyone out. So that was a missed opportunity.
No,
Absolutely.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and I'm sure that we're not the first people talking about it. I'm
No.
sure it hit the writers' room. Can we make it happen?
Yeah.
They deal with their licensing and their copyrights and all of their nonsense and why it would or wouldn't work.
Mhm.
I'm sure they've talked it out, but I don't know. I don't see that happening, unfortunately. But I would love to see another Joker film.
Yeah, I have no doubt we will eventually. But there's a couple good points here I did want to get to. Jordan mentioned Court of Owls and Sam Rock. What's up, Sam? Hush. Now, Hush was, I guess, kind of teased a
Mhm.
little bit in this. There was, you actually see the word hush at one point. Court of Owls, though, makes so much sense given that the kind of one of the biggest themes of this movie is, just how corrupt Gotham is and how deep that corruption goes. And that's like, to me, that's just setting things up for Court of Owls. Really, I would not be surprised if the next movie was that story.
Yeah, and now that I think about it, I might be a little bit upset if it's not the Court of Owls.
Yeah, same here. I think
Yeah,
it should be. Yeah.
yeah. You
What's
gotta
going on?
imagine. Yeah, these writers know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They don't just put hush in there or hint towards something if there's not some sort of angle.
Hmm.
I really hope that's the route that they take.
I mean, when it comes to fan service, either one of those storylines we're gonna be happy with as long as it's done right.
Mhm.
And I think, uh, I think that from what we've seen, some very capable hands here. I think that Matt Reeves could make an incredible Court of Owls movie, or Hush for that matter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that I really really love about the route that DC and Warner Brothers and whoever is taking, they took the chance with making an R-rated comic book movie with the Joker, and
Mhm.
the performance was incredible, right? It
Yeah.
made tons of money. Now they took this movie, this Batman movie, made it dark. It's doing incredibly well. I just hope the trend continues because this is going to be the true differentiator between DC and Marvel movies, right? MCU is superhero, bright colors.
Yeah.
I don't want to say cartoony.
Mhm.
But, you know, they're more adventure and action and things like that.
Yeah.
I think DC is starting to veer off down a road that I cannot help but follow.
Yeah.
I
I
love it.
agree with you there. Absolutely. Now, where Marvel has excelled at that is with their Netflix series, all their street level stuff, Daredevil, Punisher, Luke Cage. It all has a bit of a darker feel, and those
It
were
did, but
so good. But
let's not forget that they're not solely responsible for that. Even though
that's true.
now Disney has those licenses back, are they going to continue to
What are
produce?
they going to do with them exactly?
Right,
Right. I don't
exactly.
know if you just saw the kind of news that came out, I guess today or yesterday, in that the latest issue of Production Weekly, which was kind of the big kind of one of the major publications, announcing which things are in pre-production or in production right now. And one of the things on it was a project just labeled Daredevil Reboot, which we assume is the new Daredevil show with Charlie Cox. But whether that will be a straight up continuation of the Netflix series, or they're gonna scrap all that and start with something new, I
Well,
don't know. But
with
uh,
because the actor and his name escapes me, Donofrio, who's also going to
Vincent
reprise his
D'Onofrio,
role,
yeah. See,
um,
that's it. We've had him back already, so
which I support 100%.
absolutely.
And I will
Uh,
tell you this: here's the silver lining, or my little ounce of faith,
mhm.
that Disney Plus just implemented their what is it, the child proofing, what is it, the adult, the parental controls
Right, parental controls. Yes.
on Disney Plus.
Hmm.
That gives me hope,
Yeah.
because now why would they do that if they didn't intend on producing more adult themed content?
Right.
Now that they have the franchises back, Daredevil, and I can only hope that they take it on. They know that the fans loved these shows. They
Oh
know
yeah, and
if they
they
ruin
were
it.
all cut short. It was
Yeah,
like I would have watched, you know, many more seasons of Daredevil. Just such a
yeah.
phenomenal show.
Disney's got to know that if they turn Daredevil PG, oh, we're gonna burn this place down, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't.
The
It doesn't
fans,
work. It just doesn't work,
yeah,
right? Yeah. It's the same thing. Like, look, how we got on this is Batman. This and with their other films in general, this kind of dark path they've gone down. I'm with you. I'm with them 100%. I'm following them. I'm watching this. It's their it seems to be working so far. So
well, it's working
yeah,
for me, and in my eyes,
yeah,
that's all that really matters.
yeah. Um, yes, yeah, agree. Yeah, yeah, no, I think people would definitely lose interest,
Yeah.
So,
To veer off into a little tangent for a moment, I think
mhm.
that one of the harder things that Marvel slash Disney is going to have to deal with in the near future is the Punisher character,
Yeah,
just because of all of the political nonsense that's gone on with the character and the symbolism. But that's another show that the fans absolutely loved, including
yeah.
myself.
I
I,
as did I. Yeah,
I think I like the Punisher better than I did Daredevil, and I love Daredevil. Um, yeah, they can't ruin that.
yeah. No, no. Um, and I mean, John Bernthal has expressed how much he wants to play the Punisher again. So
Mhm.
yeah, again, it only makes sense. It's just you know what, just they already have the blueprint for what works. So why not make more of it? You know.
Yeah, I just hope they capitalize on it, and I hope that um, their parental controls aren't just because Jessica Jones drinks too much,
Right.
or something
Yeah.
crazy like that, or somebody shoots somebody, or a, might have shot somebody and maybe
Yeah.
smokes a cigarette in
Yeah.
a scene or
Yeah.
something like that. That I am still afraid of.
Mhm. This I agree. I think it's terrible. I think it's temporary. I assume it can only be temporary. That's like changing Spider-Man's suit, permanently. You can't, the black costume wasn't around forever, right? He eventually went back to the blue and red. So
Yeah, I believe it's temporary as
Mhm.
well. The new logo fits the current story arc, with the hand and all of that. So
Mhm.
that would be another huge mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. What's going on, JD? Thanks for joining us. Maybe let's get back to Batman. First of
Oh,
all, let me read the see if I can read the room here. If I can get any more hashtag restore the Clooney verse for anyone that's feeling my idea here. Or I don't know if you're here at the beginning, but I did mention I would like to see if anyone can get my idea out to Matt Reeves to let's do this movie, keep the movie shot for shot, but just kind of green screen in Jim Carrey as the Riddler. So replace Paul Dano's performance with Jim Carrey and just put him in there and see how that changes the tone of the movie. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I think he'll bring some much needed humor and
you know,
just silliness, right? Is that what we were looking for with this movie?
here's the
I don't
crazy
know.
thing.
I don't know. We won't know until we see it,
I
right?
bet you if you take the right footage
Mm-hmm.
from Jim Carrey's Riddler and
Yeah.
it could be worked in, and it
Yeah.
would still be as dark a film as
Oh,
it is.
dude. Yeah, that's a good point. But what if you did that with with like the Christopher Nolan movies, like put in Tommy Lee Jones as Two Face, who's just like the man. There are a few performances where you would say that guy's hamming it up as Tommy Lee Jones in that movie. I mean, really, he's laying it on real thick.
You know, there are some great video editors out there. I'm sure that this can happen. I'd love to see just like a 2.5 minute scene.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. um, but yeah, no, this it wouldn't work. It would not work with this movie. You couldn't have the bright green Riddler in this. It would be too much. Like the that's what I loved about the Nolan films is like kind of the most over the top thing about those movies was the Joker, but he still felt like it was just right.
You know,
Yeah, he had the purple suit, but it looked like an expensive suit.
he
It
could have
was
been dressed as a circus clown.
hmm
The acting was
yeah.
everything. He really convinced you that he was out of his mind. He was on this one road path of his own insanity and his own intentions, and that's what drove him. Um, the acting was everything
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, absolutely. Um is there anything else you wanted to say about this movie? I-
Not
It
yet,
was
not until you mentioned something else and it sparked something.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what am I missing here. Oh, Catwoman, Zoe Kravitz is Catwoman. I liked. Um, yeah, I would. Definitely like to see her again. Of course, there's at the end we get the whole she's going to Bloodhaven probably. So the possibilities there for a solo Catwoman movie, right? Uh, I wouldn't be surprised if they did
Perhaps.
something like that. But
Um,
is
I
there
would.
enough of an audience for that? I'm not sure. I
Right,
mean,
exactly. I don't know. I would hate for them to do it and for it to tank
yeah.
and taint this Batman universe.
Hmm.
However, I would like to see her a little bit more in future Batman films and kind of build on the relationship between Catwoman and Batman.
Hmm.
Because that's always been, enticing, that
Yeah.
fine line between right and wrong with their relationship and things like that.
Oh,
I wouldn't mind
absolutely.
seeing that.
Yeah.
A solo Catwoman film, I'm not really looking
Is it
forward to.
maybe the world's not ready for that yet? We're still recovering.
Yeah, that one's gonna have to be written really well because I think that even though Catwoman in this movie was dealing with potentially real world problems, right? With her
Mhm.
friend being murdered and the lifestyle she had to live and things like that. It wasn't the most interesting story, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So for it to drive or for her character to drive a whole other film, I don't know if there's enough there yet. At least not yet.
Yeah, not yet. We don't really know enough about her, I suppose. Perhaps if they had introduced a little bit of that Halle Berry Catwoman into this, maybe showcase some of her basketball skills, you know, right? Um, just a thought again.
Adrian, we got to get you in the writers' room.
Hey, yeah, I'm trying here. I'm trying. This um oh, yeah, okay. Oh, anyways, what's going on, AOA? Thanks for joining us.
That's another interesting point too. Is
Yeah,
Robin?
Robin. Yeah. Um,
Could Robin? Should Robin
should Robin?
be
That's always a good question with
to keep
Batman. Should
Robin? Yeah, to keep Robin dark is
yeah.
that's a chore.
Um, go for it, Mastodon. Absolutely. Yeah, Robin's like for me because generally speaking, with Batman, I can always do without Robin. It's not a requirement. If you're gonna do it, you've got to do it right. You gotta be Robin. When you bring Robin onto the big screen, you've got to, pun intended, handle him with kid gloves. Like this is like something that's gonna drastically alter the kind of story you're trying to tell and maybe the tone of the film, but could be in a very good way because you and it also depends on like what's going to make a big difference there is how old is this Robin? Like we see this very young kid in this
Right.
movie where it's like, could you take a kid that young and then we see him as a teenager as Robin?
Yeah, that's a good point that I didn't quite think about. It's too early for Robin.
What's
Hey,
going on, Nick? Yeah, I think you're right about that. It might be too
oh,
early.
Jonathan, War Machine Punisher makes a great point. 1966 Robin. How awesome would it be to bring in some old Burt Ward?
Yeah, yeah. Burt Ward, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. An actual boy wonder. See, this is the thing. Let's bring in a boy. Bring in a boy and see. Just throw him at the wall. See if it sticks.
Kind of like
Uh,
Shadow Man. Will Shadow
Shadow
Man?
Man. Yeah. So restore the Clooneyverse. Let's get Clooney back in the cape and cowl and give him. I'm not saying 8. I'm not saying 9 years old, but give him a young Robin to work with, and let's see what we can do with that. Just an idea out there, Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to see why Hollywood's not taking your calls.
Someone out there will eventually. They have I mean, look at some of the stuff they've made, right? Somehow people get movies made and that nobody asked for. And I think that there's people on my side here. It looks like it.
Do we think that the governor's son is the obvious choice, or do we have another dark horse candidate?
Well, in this movie, there doesn't really. He seems like the only kind of logical choice.
For Robin?
Or what about the guy who plays Tim Drake on the Titans?
Maybe more that role, but I think that the traditional Robin came from the family of acrobats.
Yes.
I think steering too far away from that would be too disappointing for the diehards.
Mm-hmm.
So they would have to go that route if we do. But I will say this: the governor's son, his story's not over. There's so much that could be done there.
I would like to see the campaign started for actual Dracula as the serial killer Zaz.
Hey, Victor Zaz. I'm all for it, man. Yeah.
I'll sign that petition.
Yep.
Because, I mean, it's really not a stretch.
There.
I have just now...
It wouldn't even be acting, really.
I was going to say, that might be a little too real, right? It's still a movie.
He might have to reel himself in to play that character.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Because I have just now finished the Whack Comics video on how Drac whacks.
Yeah, that's disturbing.
Yeah, I had a little fun with that one.
To say the least, and I enjoy all of Drac's, because to me, Drac puts out pure entertainment. For me, the Werner Herzog Daddy's Toy Chest is by far and above one of my favorite segments of all time. Just perfectly acted. Michael Caine, Batman, just all of this stuff. But this last one, it was rough. It was rough.
Yeah.
Well, I had to, show my my love for Whack, and as a whacking legend, I felt kind of somewhat. I kind of felt like it was up to me to kind of show maybe future generations of whackers, how you should do it. I guess one of the ways you can do it.
And being a Jack Boniface fan, I do feel proud, but the breathing part of it was quite disturbing.
Yes, Mastodon. And actually, that was another video I made for Whack Comics, I believe. 1000 Whacks. I got Werner Herzog to be in one of my videos, so that was exciting. Yeah. It was what were we talking about? Robin, right?
Clooney.
So Clooney, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's too early. It's too early in Batman's career, if you will, at least where the franchise is for Robin.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. Yeah.
But I mean, who knows, man? This Pattinson Batman could carry on X amount of films in the future, and there's still a lot of potential to bring in, something like Robin or something with the son. He's a little too young to do anything with him now, I think. But who knows?
Here's a hot take: Jaden Smith as Robin. Right?
He might be.
We're also excited that he's probably going to be Miles. Bring him in as Robin as well. I mean, people are going to lose their.
I believe DJ Lynx said it best when he said he's got a punchable face.
That's right. Yeah.
I think that perfectly described him. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I think I'm so turned off by Jaden Smith as a human being that no matter what character he plays, I just can't get behind. Not to mention the fact that he completely destroyed Karate Kid for me.
Okay.
But
so maybe no to Jaden Smith as Robin. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Let's put a no on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll put a pin in that for later. What we
We'll revisit that one.
yeah.
We'll have to come back. We'll have to circle back around to that one.
Yeah. Much like we did with George Clooney, guys. Remember hashtag restore the Clooneyverse. If
Now, was
you're with
he-
me on let's revisit the world of Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, but with Batman characters. That's all I'm saying. All right.
That could be something.
Heist movies. People love a good heist movie.
Now, do we have odds-on favorite of who the villains will be in addition to Riddler? Do we think Joker is going to be there full time, or?
Yeah, we touched on that a little bit, and I'm kind of voting against the Joker. And I think when we mentioned it, we're rooting for Hush or Court of Owls.
Mhm.
More Court of Owls.
More Court of Owls. Yes, I agree 100%. Now, this movie also sets up the fact that Penguin is now going to be like one of the top dogs in Gotham, right? Falcone is he's basically going to replace Falcone. At least that's kind of what's implied, right?
Mhm.
So I think getting more Penguin makes sense, especially because he's been such a fan favorite. So I won't be surprised if you see Penguin again in the next movie.
Yeah, I agree, and I want to see more of that Penguin. I think,
and it's easy. I mean, Penguin did play a role in Court of Owls, if I'm not mistaken. Right? He was in that story a bit. I could be wrong. Maybe it's like kind of a side arc. I might be thinking of something else, but it would be easy enough to have him in there, somehow.
Well, he will be taking up that one of the HBO shows, though.
That's right. Yeah,
I think we'll be
that's
getting
right.
more from
There's a whole show. So maybe he won't even be in the next movie if he's got his own.
you know
thing.
what? Even if he's in for 2-3 minutes just to make a cameo,
Mhm.
and it could also completely depend on the success of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't bring in a great actor like Colin Farrell, throw all of that makeup on him, and not use him, right? They're paying for him. He did a fucking outstanding job.
Yep.
Obviously, I want to see more of him. Everybody else does. They're spending the money on a show. Why not at least acknowledge his presence, in future films? And I think they'll.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
And I think Matt Reeves has been pushing for Mr. Freeze as well, but in such a realistic universe, it might be tough to justify that guy.
That is a tough thing to justify, unless you. I don't know how would you make him freeze things? Maybe he, he obviously having a big ice gun is a little silly, but maybe I don't know. Maybe he just
maybe
freezes
not
people.
Maybe not put him in a full helmet and with a giant ice gun. I'm sure that they could spin it into some sort of fringe science.
But whatever they do, I think they still need to keep the Schwarzenegger one-liner quips intact.
Oh, 100%. I'm with you on that.
Chill.
They would be doing the character a great disservice otherwise.
Complete disservice. So.
Yeah, although we were talking about this before, I do what I do like about that is that because he's kind of inexperienced still, and that lends to kind of the realism of it. Is that he probably would be scared shitless to jump off a building. Who wouldn't be, right?
I was going to say just that. Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't be scared? Obviously, it was untested equipment. I gave you kudos earlier, Nick, when you brought up the fact that at the end of that, or not the end of the scene, but towards the end, when he landed, it was not a superhero landing. He ate shit at the end of that, right? And the acting pulled it all back.
Even though they did not acknowledge it after that scene was over, he did play it pretty well.
Yeah.
This is off topic, but I recently saw this phenomenal video of I don't know where it was, some city, a base jumper, right? So someone just on a parachute, they land on a roof of some building, and there's like security right there, and they're like, what are you doing? You can't just go parachuting around and landing on rooftops. You're not allowed to be here. And they're like, okay, you got to wait here, and the person just jumps off the edge of the building and parachutes down to the beach. It's pretty good. One of the best getaways I've ever seen.
Why in the world would you stick around for the cops to come? You could just jump off.
You could just jump off the building. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait here.
Clayface, not an option. Yeah, I don't think it would work in this movie, or Killer Croc or anything like
unless
that.
They just do a take of it and they don't really do the supernatural part of it.
What is going on, Bearded?
Hey, Greg. I would have to imagine that here's what I love overall: Marvel, DC, indie books. I don't care. Here's what I love. I love that these companies are now hiring writers who are comic book fans.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best thing that ever happened to this movie industry. And I have to imagine that if they wanted to work a character like Clayface or even Two-Face or the Croc, they could be written in. And with, again, like fringe science and things like that, I'm sure they could pull it off. The big chore here is that they do it well, right? And because, there's that fine line between keeping realism, people who are into realism happy, and then, of course, the fans. You got to keep them happy, too, because you still have to pull in enough to support these, I don't want to say paranormal, but these, outlandish characters. But I'd love to see them.
Scarface, yeah, could do that.
That could be done.
Yeah,
crazy guy with a puppet. True.
Yeah, some crazy nut job with a puppet on his arm. No, it wasn't me. That would actually be a great character.
It would. Yeah, I mean, and what are, I guess, some of the other villains we haven't seen yet. Actually, you did mention Victor Zsasz. That's
well, we did kind of see him in a few of the previous movies.
Yeah, a little bit.
Not to full potential, though.
No. Not to Drac potential, of course.
No.
No such thing. What? I would like to see a dark version of Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
But that would be another character that would be very tough to pull off, with chemicals and stuff, because she's more supernatural in the comic books, right?
Yeah.
Versus the chemistry type thing that they tried to pull off in the earlier Batman films. But that's a character I'd love to see.
The Mad Hatter, see, that's a tricky one, because he's kind of I've never been a huge fan of the character. I mean, he's literally just like the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. It's just a guy who likes Alice in Wonderland way too much, and that's his whole shtick.
Yeah, I mean, I could see maybe a 5 to 10 minute cameo somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe he's one of the loonies in Arkham. Definitely a cool character, but I don't know if he could justify supporting a full villain role.
There you go, Hugo Strange. I know Greg's a huge fan of Hugo Strange, and that's a cool character we haven't seen yet.
Oh, Greg likes Batman? That's news to me.
I always thought he was a Dick Tracy guy.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Do you think it's too early for people or characters like Punchline or Ghostmaker?
With this universe that's being built with Pattinson, absolutely. Absolutely. Because you got to keep in mind too, there's with Punchline, there has already been a long history between Batman and Joker. The whole history between Joker and Harley Quinn has to be long gone to bring in Punchline. So that's got to be years down the road.
I will say those characters would absolutely work for Suicide Squad. You could put them in Suicide Squad, no problem.
And hey, man, Suicide Squad, I loved those movies.
The last two movies, DC's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned it before, man. They're doing an excellent job because they seem to be. I don't want to say taking this don't give a shit attitude, but they're definitely giving me everything I want to see, especially with the Peacemaker series. Outstanding, man.
So good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
I want to see more of the R-rated, dark, adult themed stuff. And right now, DC's doing it.
They do it well.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about my favorite stuff right now, it is like that. And not Batman, but The Boys, right? The Boys, Invincible, stuff that real over the top. A Peacemaker had it too. That over the top, almost to the point of being ridiculous, cartoon violence. It's just entertaining as hell. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah.
What and that, but that's that's just the icing on the cake, because that stuff all has great writing. That's the foundation is there.
Yeah. The only problem that all of those shows you just mentioned have is that they can't produce it for us quick enough.
Exactly. Yeah. A new Bane. And then this is something that people, I guess, saw at the end of this movie, where Batman sticks himself with something that people assumed was like, they think it's venom. It was probably just adrenaline.
I assumed adrenaline.
Yeah.
I think they colored it a certain way and they hung on it just too long to not make it important.
Yeah, so you mentioned that.
Yeah,
you mentioned that before, that it had that certain glow to it.
Like, yeah, it did have the glow,
and it made him extra aggressive.
Yeah. So maybe it is Venom. No.
But is it still too early in Batman's story to introduce Bane?
I mean, just a little tease doesn't mean he's coming next movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But if they do it again, he's got to be 8 foot tall.
Yeah.
600 pounds.
They got to do him right.
And Hispanic.
And pardon my ignorance on canon, did Batman initially produce the Venom? Or did he initially have access to it?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
No, I think it started with Bane. No. It wasn't. I got to look at that.
Didn't it start with Legends of the Dark Knight, Venom, right? Guess like a 3-issue series.
So Greg says that he did have access to it first.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
He created Venom. Okay. So.
I didn't know that. So that's another great point.
No, I'm familiar with that. I just haven't read that yet. The Legends Venom story. So yeah, maybe it is Venom. Yeah.
Well, that puts a different spin on everything.
Yep.
It
But
does.
if it's not, it's one of those cool little tidbits that you do enjoy salivating over for a while.
Yeah. Right.
So
They know what we like. They know how to play us like a fiddle, right?
Yeah. And Mastodon just made a great comment. I was going to bring up Scarecrow earlier.
Scarecrow. Yeah.
Obviously, we've seen versions of Scarecrow, and I really enjoy. I forget the name of the actor who played Scarecrow. I like the guy.
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
did a great job. But you could take Scarecrow to a such darker place.
Oh yeah.
And I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
I think that they did that really well with the Riddler here. And I don't know that if they tried to bring in Scarecrow again and try to play that same psychological angle, if it would be too soon. I think we need to see the Riddler. We need to see a different villain, and then we can probably move on to somebody like the Scarecrow. But I would love to see him.
Okay.
Yep. I think it was Legend 16 through 20, I think it was. But yeah, I mean, they even left a clue to the Court of Owls when they said, it was Gotham's founding families, and that's what it all started. So,
yes. Right.
Again, another little tidbit.
That's what that's what I want. I want Court of Owls. I think.
And you can put anybody in a Talon suit.
Yep.
And I'm just going to go ahead and say what everybody's already thinking. The biggest disappointment of all of this is it's going to be another 3 years before we get another film.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we touched on Hush as well earlier.
Yeah, but you know what, too, Austin? I agree, but there is also so many other things coming down the pipe to be excited about.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm not going to be entertained from now to then.
You'll probably forget about it. Like already, I've seen as much as I've touted Batman, went to see it twice in the first 4 days.
Yeah.
I'm already looking forward to Doctor Strange. I'm already looking forward.
Oh, dude, same here. Yeah.
To Morbius, honestly, because I think Morbius is going to be another surprise also.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about Morbius yet. I mean, yeah, it could be a surprise. You know what, for me, again, this is one of those other little things. It's just like, call it fan service or nostalgia, but getting to see Michael Keaton as Batman again has me so excited. I mean, never mind restore the Clooneyverse. Actually, no, I want to do it, guys. # restore the Clooneyverse. But yeah, Keaton. Even if it's like a 30-second cameo, just to see
that's
Batman again.
That's what scares the hell out of me, man. He's gonna have like 4 or 5 minutes of camera time, and that's all we're gonna get.
Yeah. And I gotta sit through a damn Flash movie to get it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But if he does a good enough job, you see how well Garfield has been received after that. No Way Home. There's a lobby for a third movie for him. So
right. Yeah.
We'll see.
Actually, the Flash movie doesn't look half bad. Like I am genuinely interested to see the movie too.
Yeah, that's one of those movies where I can complain all day. I'm not a fan of the Flash. I'll bitch and moan and I'll say I don't like this, that, or the other thing. I'm still gonna go see it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Still gonna go see it. And I'm probably going to have a good time watching it too. But it's not one that I'm necessarily looking forward to. But Doctor Strange,
100%. Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see that movie. I mean, they've done such a great job with the trailers and even the cutscenes and the teasers and stuff, man. I just can't wait.
Yeah, so much going on. I think it's like the reverse of sitting in the dentist's office waiting to go in. It's like you can't wait because it's so much possibility.
Yeah,
so much you've heard, but there's tons of stuff that they're keeping under wraps.
Yeah.
You can never believe a Marvel trailer, you know? So
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, with introducing the multiverse, who knows what's going to happen? You know, us nerds, we speculate all day long, but I have a feeling that they're going to blow our minds with the content in this movie, because this is basically the next big movie to start the next series of movies that they're going to bring for the next 10 years, right?
yeah.
So of
But
course
they have to bring it, right? Because look at Infinity War Endgame, huge, right? Like that's a hard act to follow. And I think they're going to do it. Like,
yeah, the
I think
thing
they're
is,
gonna have no problem doing it.
there's hundreds of different things that we can speculate on with the multiverse, and they could do whatever they want. And, you know, I just can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree with your previous comment too. Like for me, I just hope they tailor Ezra Miller more towards a Barry Allen instead of the jackass he's been in the past few movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I will say,
Birdman.
That was great.
Yeah, yeah, that was good.
one thing that is promising, though, is that one of those end scenes in Peacemaker, where they brought in Ezra and
Right.
dude that plays Aquaman,
Jason
Momoa.
Momoa. Yeah.
Jason Momoa. They brought them in. They allowed them to film adult content, that they were willing to do that with those characters was great.
You know, it's an interesting fact about that. The scene, that just kind of little scene with the cameo scene with the Aquaman and Flash, that was filmed separately from Peacemaker
By Marvel, right?
They shot it while James Gunn was doing Guardians of the Galaxy. They shot it on there. Yeah. By Marvel. It was shot by Marvel.
Yeah. And that's another great point, that these two production companies are actually willing to work together like that and share production, share creators, because again, they're starting to bring in writers and directors who are actually comic book fans, and that they're both of these studios are willing to do that. We got some awesome content coming towards us. Yeah, and I can't wait to see it.
And it only makes sense considering that the creators, the people who created this, I mean, you know, for the majority of them have worked for both companies, so why not? You know,
yeah. It's I just think DC needs to find their Filoni or Feige, and they'll be good. They'll be good. They just need something to tie it all together, because I mean, you do need a shared universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but right now, you know, I'll say it again. I think DC's biggest angle is that they're willing to do more adult-themed and R-rated content, darker content, not necessarily R-rated, but darker content. You know, make these movies for the big kids, and they're doing a great job so far.
So actually, that brings up a good point. Actually, is how they have to tie things together. So the next, say, Justice League film, who do we get as Batman? I mean, is there gonna be?
I think that's a good question.
Because my understanding was Affleck is done, but
I think
that was my understanding as well. But I don't think they're gonna. I don't think bringing in Pattinson makes sense.
No, I don't think that makes sense either. Right?
It's too much. Has there been a full announcement on a new Justice League film?
Not yet. No.
I think they're still deciding on their Batman and Superman.
I say they just trash it and move on.
I mean, Flashpoint would be the movie to do that, right?
Flashpoint. That's the best thing about Flashpoint is it's a complete reset. They can do whatever they want and end up in whatever universe they want and do anything. This is their opportunity.
It's comic books. This is what you do. Things aren't going quite right. Things get too convoluted. Doesn't matter. Start from scratch. Just start over.
Yeah. And do we have a fandom this year? Have they announced fandom yet?
I haven't seen any announcement yet.
Well, something big might come then too.
Yeah. Mark would be the guy to ask.
But that's usually October or something.
I thought last year was June.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, it was a little bit earlier.
I guess something else. Yeah, Aquaman. Yeah, I'm not too excited about that.
No, me neither.
Yeah, I don't know. The first one was okay. It was okay.
Yeah, there was one fandom. The first fandom was in June. Second one was in October of last year.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm even a little indifferent on the new Thor movie coming out. As much as I love Natalie Portman.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, that one's getting streamed. I'm not going to the theater for that movie.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't decided yet. I mean, I guess see what happens with the trailer, but I loved Ragnarok. I thought that's one of my favorite Marvel movies. And Dark World was just a mess. I did not really care for that one.
Yeah, I don't like the way Thor has been portrayed in any of these movies. Yeah, so I can't really support that.
He's had his badass moments. Not allergic. I'm looking forward to I'm also a little bit leery what they do with Gore the God Butcher.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they do there. I'm just hoping that that's not too much CGI, and I don't know. We'll have to see. That's a complete unknown.
Yeah. I don't know. I've already started just thinking about what's to come beyond what they've announced, like X-Men. What are they going to do with the X-Men? I don't know, but that is one of the things, just the potential there. That's the kind of thing I'm really excited about.
And not necessarily the X-Men, but mutants overall.
Yes, yeah.
I'll tell you what scares the hell out of me is whatever they intend to do with the Fantastic Four, because that has been such a cursed franchise that if they decide to go the route with the Fantastic Four, they better do something big. They better really blow our minds there, or just completely abandon it. But yeah, the mutants, I really like the Scarlet Witch. I like what they did there. I think they're on the right path, and I just can't wait to see how they evolve all of the mutants.
Yeah, I'm just hoping I live long enough to see all the stuff that I want to see.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. Yeah.
Because as a young kid, I never thought that I'd be getting the stuff that they're putting out now. And as an adult, I never thought that the companies would be playing nice to allow the things that are going on now, too. So everything is just, like I said, it's a good time to be a fan.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Isn't that great? They understand, listen, I'm going to make my millions. You're going to make your millions. And they're the same audiences, right? They're both making money. Why not work together and make everybody happy?
They are. I have no doubt they're both making some okay money. That's for sure.
Did I accidentally say millions? I meant billions.
Yeah. I think it's funny when you have the thing that you have to worry about not enjoying is the comic books themselves.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Just the other day, my wife, she said this more than once, I'm sure. She's like, how come the only movies they make now are comic book movies? It's just like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's
the funny
working
thing
for
is,
them.
that's not the only movies that are being made today.
No,
Those are the only ones we're noticing, though.
that's it. Just giving the people what they want. Oh yeah, I'm excited for that too. Yeah.
I think there may even be a little taste of that in Doctor Strange.
X-Men, right?
And then we won't have to wait long. We'll have the Disney Plus show either. I was never a big fan. I really didn't watch the 92 one. I might catch up now that they're having the new show, but we'll see.
I went back last year and watched a whole bunch of the 92 series, and you know what? It still holds up, I think. You really got to be an X-Men fan, though. You know, it's not the best show.
You know, my only taste of X-Men in the animated world was like a couple of episodes they had on Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends back in the mid 80s.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll see. Like that'll be my super fanboy geek moment, is when they have the true Dark Phoenix saga as Claremont and John Byrne imagined it. You know, and they're fighting on the moon, you know, against the Starjammers and the Shi'ar, you know, protectorate. So
yeah, they kind of botched that that last X-Men movie. Talk about just not ending on a high note. That was
no.
They never should have made that movie.
Were they trying to capitalize on her fame from Game of Thrones?
I think perhaps.
Could be, but when you make Apocalypse, you know, a 5'3", very unintimidating guy, I can't.
I know. Yeah. Did not work for me either.
I'm having trouble taking him as Moon Knight, you know, let alone that big bad guy. So,
well, I'm excited for Moon Knight. I do think he's a good actor. So, yeah, I have high hopes for that show.
I'll tell you what, man. When I first saw and started to read articles around Moon Knight, I was like, I don't know. I was indifferent. But then they started leaking the teasers and then these trailers. Now I'm all in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, hon.
I get it. I like the characters, but I understand if you don't like them.
I'd love to see a good Rogue and Jubilee. Gambit's tough for me because if they don't find the right actor, Gambit's ruined.
Who is attached to Gambit? Was it
Channing Tatum?
Channing Tatum, right?
Channing Tatum, yeah. And I can't do that.
I just know. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll ruin him. But I think with Rogue, if they get like a good Southern Belle actress for Rogue, that would be outstanding. Mm-hmm. Jubilee is a little more, you know, it's just got to be some young, hip teenage girl, and I think that'll be nailed.
Yeah, but do you put her in a yellow raincoat with the purple cataract glasses?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you do.
Is there another way to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, blowing bubble. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Mastodon, that's I won't spoil it for you, but It wasn't my favorite X-Men movie, that's for sure.
No, the second one was the best, I think.
Still better than Dark Phoenix, but that's not saying much.
Yeah, I'm a little bit indifferent on the X-Men movies. I think that they were great movies in their time, but they just didn't hold out.
Yeah. Definitely. The I mean, the best by far was Logan, but that's kind of in a league of its own. It's not like the other movies.
That kind of pulled the whole story and everything outside of all of that, which was great. I think that made the movie too.
Yeah.
All right, brothers. It is past my bedtime. It was wonderfully talk to you guys.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. I'm actually gonna wrap it up as well. I was planning on going for like an hour, and yeah, but thank you both for hopping on. And I thought I was gonna be here by myself, so yeah, this has been great.
Oh, we couldn't let that happen.
Yeah.
You're never alone, Drac. Never alone.
Awesome.
You're just a little chainsaw away from me just hopping on.
Yes. Yeah, and we did talk some Batman, which was great. And you know, I think I got some people on board for Restore the Clooneyverse, which was really my goal from all along.
Well, you created
get that petition started, guys.
Some of us are on it.
Yeah, it takes a little while. It's like a worm. It's got to kind of work its way into your brain, and then you're like, you know what? He's on to something here.
Yep. Yeah. There's a new hashtag that was just created.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that'll do it. Thank you for everyone in the chat for watching and join in. And yeah, Batman, guys, if you haven't seen it, then I don't know why you were watching this to begin with, but definitely go watch it. It was great.
Just for this. For this alone, it was worth it.
Yes. Yeah, dude. Yeah, the Batmobile was amazing in this.
Indeed.
Next week, yeah, I don't know. I think I might have some time next week. Yeah, hit me up. I've been meaning to reach out to you to do the show together. So definitely. And Drac, yeah. So Drac, yes. I like it. Restore the Clooneyverse with me as Zaz. That's it.
Never shall the two meet. I forget that saying, but I think you keep those mutually exclusive.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. We definitely got some good ideas here thrown out here tonight.
Well, we've got ideas.
We've got ideas. They may die as soon as I hit this end broadcast. So.
Never.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you, and have a good night. We'll see you next time.
Later, beep.